Let's bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, chairman at the Institute for the Study of War and a Fox News senior strategic analyst. Just one piece of sound I would like you to listen to and react. This is Jake Sullivan on Fox News on CNN yesterday about the possibility of future attacks. Watch.
We have to be attuned to the possibility that ISIS-K or any other group within Afghanistan would look to extend its reach beyond Afghanistan itself. The intelligence community has briefed us over time that their current capability to threaten the homeland is not there, but that is a capability that they are seeking, and we will continue to pay close attention to that.
General, could we get your thoughts on that?
Well, he just provided the justification for why we should have kept the modest force inside Afghanistan, which is what the military and intelligence services have been saying all along, that there's an al-Qaeda presence. The UN reports as much as 15 provinces have al-Qaeda in it. ISIS-K also is there, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1,500 to 2,000 before they got about another 1,000 released from the detention centers that the Taliban opened up. And clearly, al-Qaeda has aspirations to attack America, always has. ISIS-K obviously has aspirations greater than Afghanistan. That's why they have fundamental disagreements with the Afghan Taliban. I don't think they have the wherewithal yet to be able to conduct an attack against America, but why would we permit them to acquire it? That is why we wanted to keep the modest force there. Remember, our CIA bases were focused on these organizations, al-Qaeda and ISIS. That was their primary focus as an intelligence capability. And that intelligence capability, believe me, has been very successful in striking down al-Qaeda and permitting them to rise up and establish that safe haven and be a threat to the United States. We've killed multiple levels of their leaders. Obviously, Osama bin Laden, the most notable, but also their successive leaders, one after the other. That presence that we've had there has been our guarantor that it's our insurance policy that America would not be attacked again. He just gave the argument for why we should stay. That's stunning.
Yeah. General, a few things here. General Milley said a few weeks ago that the target essentially was to get down to about 600 or 700 troops in country prior to tomorrow, August 31st. I don't know what you can do in Afghanistan with 600 or 700 forces. It's the embassy, or it's Bagram, or it's the local airport. Can't be all three. Were those the guidelines the commanders on the ground were given, General?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of blame game going on here, as you correctly identified, and it's sad to see, and it's all driven by the fact that we have had significant failure here, and it's undeniable, and the American people certainly are very, very much aware of it. But what happened, clearly, we've seen the Biden administration blame the intelligence services for not telling them that the Taliban could very rapidly take over Afghanistan. The intelligence services obviously anonymously leaking to the contrary. Now they're blaming the military about Bagram airfield and security numbers. The military went to the administration in May and said, we're prepared to begin the evacuation of American citizens and our Afghan partners. Obviously, Bagram airfield would be used for that. The State Department rejected that recommendation. The military then focused on leaving. The 600 number that you brought up, Bill, has to do with the security forces for the embassy. They were going to draw down, but not completely, making certain that there was adequate security for the embassy. Those were the choices that they were dealing with at the time.
May I?
Yes, please.
Do you know why we have not been given the identity of these so-called planners that were hit over the weekend?
Yeah, it's a little odd, because usually what happens is our intelligence services pick up on the radicals' communications net who died, because they start grieving them, they start honoring them as martyrs, they're using their full names, et cetera. And I think that communication is obviously going on, but they may not be the people they were targeting. That could be an explanation for why we haven't heard from them. Also, they may not have been as high profile as we thought they were going to be. But nonetheless, I don't think we have the kind of clarity that we usually have in one of these after-action post-attacks and getting the specific names. That, I think, is the problem. I mean, obviously, I'm only speculating. I'm surprised, you know, the Pentagon just hasn't given us an explanation as to why.
Maybe we get an answer in 50 minutes from now. Thank you, General.
That's when they brief. Thank you so much, General.